Today we're going to take on a riff of the Mai Tai with the Mai Sha Roa Na from False Idol in San Diego, and the drink was created by Anthony Schmidt. Now I cannot confirm that this is the exact real recipe, but I think you might not want to follow what I think is the real recipe, and I'll share that here and I'll explain to you why you might want to change it up just a little bit in a moment. This video is brought to us by Mark, who is a member of the Make and Drink Patreon, and in the Mai Tai tier where you get to choose a cocktail for me to make here on YouTube. His favorite cocktail is a Mai Sha Roa Na from the False Idol, and he's the one who sent me this recipe. While there is a pared down version of this in the Easy Tiki book, those ingredients differ from the ones on the menu at the False Idol. What makes this drink really unique are a few things. First, we're going to be using a banana liqueur. Second, we'll be using a Madeira in addition to rum. And third, there is no orgeat, but instead a vanilla macadamia nut cordial that's made with macadamia nut oil and not macadamia nuts. And this is where things can go bad on you. I made the macadamia nut cordial, which I'll show you how to do in just a minute, but I'm about 90% sure that this brand new macadamia nut oil that I bought is already rancid. It doesn't smell or taste very good, and it's pretty common that most of these specialty oils that you can buy in the store are rancid when you buy them. Now, from what I know, it's not a danger, but investigate that yourself. So if you don't want to go through the process of making this, if you're worried about spending money on oil that is going to be rancid, I would say just use a macadamia nut orgeat, and I happen to have the orgeat works ready to go. So I'll make both versions, just replacing that cordial, and we'll see if there's much of a difference here in the taste and the texture. To make the vanilla macadamia nut cordial, I'm going to start by adding 4 ounces of oil to a jar or container that I can use an immersion blender in. Then I'll add in 2 teaspoons of 210S and blend it. You can swap in a mixture of 9 parts gum arabic to 1 part xanthan gum as an alternative. Next, I'm going to add 1 cup of vanilla syrup that I've gently warmed in the microwave. I'm just going to use the vanilla syrup that I keep on hand for other recipes. So I'm not even certain that this is the exact way that False Idol makes it, but I did find that even with the 210S, it just doesn't stay emulsified. It's somewhat emulsified, it's not totally separated, but it does incorporate with a quick little shake. Now to make this drink, you'll need lemon juice, a vanilla macadamia nut cordial, banana liqueur, a Madeira wine, and an overproof pot still Jamaican rum. So I'm going to shake this cocktail, I'm going to make both of them at the same time. Start with 3/4 ounces of lemon juice, half an ounce of our vanilla macadamia nut cordial, or half an ounce of a macadamia nut orgeat, half an ounce of a banana liqueur, specifically Tempest Fugit here, 1 ounce of Madeira, and 1 ounce of an overproof pot still Jamaican rum. All right, so let's try them. I think it's visually pretty obvious which one is which. This one has the vanilla macadamia nut cordial. It's a much lighter color, and it also, you can see some of the kind of the fat solidifying here. And then this one has the Orgeat Works macadamia nut orgeat. Now, before I try them, I will say I'm confident that False Idol makes that macadamia nut cordial in a way with oil that's not rancid, and I'm sure it stays emulsified. I know they use 210S in their gardenia mix, so it's not like something they don't do and haven't been doing for a long time. However, my resources here are limited. I can't spend days, weeks, or months trying to perfect the vanilla macadamia nut cordial, but let's try it. Let's see if there's a big taste difference, and then maybe you will want to try it home to perfect it. So let's see. Texturally, it's not oily. The things that have solidified somewhat, they're not. You can't really like taste that when it's in your mouth, because it does kind of liquefy. It does emulsify itself, when you shake it. And the flavor profile right up front is like rum, which is nice, and the Madeira with little hints of the banana. And the banana is so interesting because it's not necessarily like a big robust banana liqueur flavor. Kind of tastes like a little bit of a funkier style rum. But before we move on, it's delicious. It truly is. It's great. It's unique. It's different, but there's that familiarity. You know, if you didn't know exactly what was in it, I do think you're gonna pick up the Madeira and the banana, but it's more subtle than you would think by using an ounce of Madeira and a half an ounce of banana liqueur. It's there though, and it does provide this very unique Mai Tai, like very far from a regular Mai Tai. But when you're talking about riffs where you're like replacing orange curacao, you're replacing orgeat, like I want it to be different. I don't want it to be exactly the same. So let's try the version which is the same, but we use the macadamia nut orgeat. Somehow, they're like crazy different. I can't eat, I don't even understand how that's possible. The macadamia nut orgeat version is a little bit brighter and fruitier, and it's not banana fruit, but just like an overall fruitier flavor from lemon juice and the Madeira. But the Madeira is not, it's not as present, like it's a little more subdued, which is strange. That macadamia nut orgeat, I even tasted it. I've had it before. I tasted it on its own, and it's not, you know, it's not like an overwhelming macadamia nut flavor. It's pretty subtle. You know, the two things that this one possesses that this one does not is hints of vanilla, just like hints. It's not very overwhelming, and as strange as this sounds, like there is some of that oil flavor. That taste is a little bit off, but that off-putting flavor in the cocktail, it's not bad. I would love to say like one of these is like, oh, this one's like a little bit better, but they're somehow way different. You know, and that's very interesting since we're just talking about half an ounce in this total cocktail. So yeah, the big difference here, it's that macadamia nut oil, which I guess that should be it. That's the only real difference here. But if you gave me both these drinks, I would have thought they were kind of different cocktails. I wouldn't have put together that they're basically the same. So that's it for this one. I'd encourage everyone to go out, make both of these. Come back, let me know how they turned out for you, if I'm just crazy, or if they are that different, and if you have a preference. So if you have access to macadamia nut oil, that's what I would suggest. I would probably steer clear of something like Amazon, because you're probably gonna get, that's probably the best scenario for you to get a bad one. I got mine from Whole Foods, still not great. So an excellent cocktail. Thank you to Mark for being a member of Patreon and suggesting this, because I probably would not have made this one unless he shared it. And it's a really cool addition to the list of Mai Tai riffs out there. Highly recommended. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a like below, consider subscribing to the channel, check out that Patreon page if you want to support the channel more. And otherwise, I will see you on the next one.